Hello, this time I'm putting clay onto the spider. With the amount of detail that went into the armature, it should make it pretty straightforward. So let's get to it. I'm going to start by just grabbing a chunk of clay, putting it on there, and trying to smooth it out over the body. I want the body a bit thicker up near the top of the body, so I'm pulling the clay thicker there and dragging it down along the body. I could just smooth the clay out and call it done, but I have some ideas in mind to put some patterns on the body, which means this will be the bottom layer of the spider's carapace. You may notice that I am leaving some of the wire of the armature exposed, and that's okay. I plan another thin layer after baking this layer. As I work the clay around and try to smooth it out on one section, the clay deforms and shifts over to other sections, which to me means I'm not getting the abdomen done in a single layer of clay. When adding another layer, conditioners like petroleum jelly are your friend. With the inner layer of clay now baked hard, I'm not as worried about it deforming. The way I'm adding clay now is kind of like painting it on. I've got it really conditioned and soft and can just scrape it across the sections that still have any wire exposed. I've sanded down the carapace and sketched on some patterns. Now I'm going to add some clay over those sketches. Let's see how it turns out. Since I'm putting these gilding lines, onto already baked clay, I'm using varnish as a bit of a glue to make them stick better. The varnish is drying a bit as I go, making it easier to stick and maneuver the further ends in place. Knowing whether to bake what you've got or to keep as much soft clay going is one of the more difficult things to figure out when sculpting with polymer clay. Don't be afraid to cheat though by gluing soft clay to hard clay like this. Putting clay on the legs is pretty straightforward. All the wire wrapped around everywhere give really good friction so the clay sticks really well as I scrape it around. And I'm using more petroleum jelly to really smooth it out afterwards. And that should be plenty, but of course I found a way to make it more complicated than it needs to be. I'm kind of copying the gilding lines from the abdomen up the legs as well. I hadn't initially planned that, but it just really looked to me like I needed to go that way. I hope none of these break off, and to make them stick a bit better, I am going to varnish this all afterwards. And here's the spider, with everything all more or less painted up, just one more step to completing this project. Keep an eye out as I wrap this project up in the next video, and thanks for watching.